Teenager camps my apartment entrance to beat me up. What do I do? It's a ridiculous situation I'm finding myself in right now. I was walking my dog when I saw a heated argument go down between a young boy and a young girl, right in front of my apartment door. While my dog was taking a shit, I heard her scream, "Let me go" and stuff, but he was holding both her hands, hindering the girl from walking away. Then when he slapped her in the face, I let a loud whistle off and yelled to let her go. He looked at me and said some profanities but didn't let her go. So I walked very close with my dog, who happens to look a bit threatening, which scared him off and he stopped holding her. I asked the girl if she wants to walk with me a bit tonget away from him and she agreed. While we walked away, the kid yelled, "I'll remember your face. I'll look for you and I'm gonna beat you the fuck up when I find you without your dog." While I walked the girl a few blocks away, I talked to her a bit. Both of them were 14 years old and the kid is apparently a huge troublemaker and lives a few houses further. Apparently comes from a very troubled family. When she felt safe and the dude was nowhere to see, I let her alone and went back home. But there he was, right in front of my door waiting. A 30-year-old 1.9 meters big guy. Didn't he feel threatened and just smiled at him while I entered my home with my dog? He also smiling back at me, making gestures suggesting that he wants to beat me up like in a bad old school high school movie with bullies. I laughed about it at first, but this happened yesterday and the kid is still in front of my door, waiting for me every time I go outside with my dog. I'm not scared to get hurt or anything. He is like 1.5 meters small and I'm a big guy. But I mean, what am I supposed to do? I guess I go to prison if I defend myself against a 14-year-old. If he really wants a fight, right? I guess I could just leave the house with my dog to just keep him away. But what would be the best course of action if it really would come to an encounter without my dog, and he actually tries to attack me or SMTHN? Before I manage to find out who his parents are. TLDR, 14-year-old kid camps my apartment door to beat me up. And I, a 30-year-old big guy, would like to de-escalate without going to prison. Size means nothing if he uses a weapon. Call the police ASAP. Call the police. He's already threatened you, and he's stalking you at this point. It's not worth the headache of potentially getting locked up over some kid. Edit typo. Call the police. He is for all intents and purposes harassing you. And he doesn't need to be big to hurt you. It ain't the movies. He's a viable threat. Take it seriously. A teenage boy can still stab you. Teenagers do not understand consequences. I'm infinitely more scared of 14-year-olds than 30-year-olds. Who's more likely to get their friends to jump me? Smash my apartment windows? Use a knife? Shit. Use a gun? The kid. Call the cops. Get this on record. Even if just a report. These hands are rated E for everyone. Joking aside, look up your local police non-emergency number and request an officer show up to help settle the situation. If the teen starts shit, they'll get hit with charges. Just BCH as a teen doesn't mean H is not dangerous. You never know. 14-year-old boy who's that much of a self-proclaimed badass probably doesn't have good parental figures. If H is armed with a weapon, you would be fucked. Call the police lol. Keep your dog safe. Kid might try to poison it to get rid of the threat. If he has the balls to act like that big of a jackass. Chances are great his parents don't give a shit about how he's acting. Your best course of action is to call the cops when he's hanging around your place. And record any interaction you have with him. If it appears he's alone and not recording you, slap a little bitch down, and that may also solve your problem. Record. Are you recording? Call the police. Explain the situation and ask for help. If the family is that big of troublemakers, they probably know them. Dude, just call the police. They'll come talk to him and take him home, and talk to the parents. Don't get too cocky. Mike Tyson said anybody is capable of killing anybody if you are not careful, and if they have weapons, size doesn't matter. Call the cops. Make sure your dog doesn't bite him, for your dog's sake. You have to call the police. Even if just to get it on record. This kid is clearly messed up in the head. And isn't even afraid of getting violent on a girl in broad daylight. He is probably already getting a weapon to use on you. For your safety. Your dog's safety. Your home's windows' safety. You need to call the police. Call the police. Let them deal with that piece of shit. Call police and get mace. If the police don't do anything, you'll need a ring camera to make sure you'll get it on camera him battering you first when you mace TF out of him. A teenage kid can still injure you with a weapon. Calling the police will get the harassment on record. And ring camera is proof that you were defending yourself. I'm rooting for him to get his ass kicked, however. Call the police. Go to the judge and get a restraining order. Bud. Really? Police. Call the police and his parents. Don't listen to 99 of advice you get from Reddit. They're not realistic and live in fantasy land. Go to the cops and do not get into any physical altercation with the boy. Someone assaulting another person in broad daylight does not care about their life at all. If they have a weapon, they will use it. Teenagers are smart enough to not go against someone twice their size unless they have a trick up their sleeve. Also, don't bother with his parents. Protect yourself most importantly. Call the police immediately. Odds are that Leos already know this kid and need to know if he is acting out again. If he doesn't get checked now, he'll ramp it up. Am I missing something, or is it really obvious to just call the fucking police? Firstly, you should always call the police whenever you witness a situation like this in public. Even if you don't get involved. Your statement may be the difference between his word and her word. Just make a statement. Usually 5 minutes of your time. Currently, you should definitely make a call to the police. This kid is at minimum going to damage your house, car, etc. if he can't get to you. He will have come prepared too. So 3 inches of steel is a lot more than 1 foot in height. Don't worry about being the tough guy. Be the smart guy. I'd scare the shit out of him personally, but that's probably not the smart move. This reads like a script for a half-baked TV drama. A troubled teenager can shoot you. Call the cops. Police and take pictures of him out there. And good job looking out for her. A lot of people would not want to get involved. You're a good guy. Worst case scenario, you could get killed by being stabbed or shot. Slightly better is you get injured when he attacks you. But he gets injured when you defend yourself. This will be a legal headache that you do not want to deal with. Just call the cops right now. And tell them about the domestic violence situation.